Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Goes. My name is Andrew Dika, and this is a pivotal moment in my career. And I say this is one of the biggest highlights, if not the biggest. Sugar Shane Mosley, Hall of Famer, legend, versus MATTY the Jedi Floyd. Um, Gents, I think it's all over social media now. July 25th, in about 16 days' time now. In the UK, it's now 11:32, about to turn to midnight to the 10th of July. Talk about it. July 25th, the Indigo O2 Arena. Shane, how are you, my man?
I'm feeling great. Yeah, I feel good, man. I'm just so relaxed. I'm getting ready for my next workout a little bit later. But yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm having a great time getting ready for this fight. It's gonna be good.
And Matty, how are you doing? And you're no stranger to big fights. You're no stranger to last minute opponent changes. And you even went all the way to Liverpool, to Scotland, drove down to fight in Colchester. So you're game as ever. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm pumped. I'm excited. It's what I want. I want the big fights. I want to fight the best in the world.
So, Shane, I'm going to go to you here. And this is a question I can say for later, but does it feel full circle for you how this kind of kicked off with you? I know it started with KSI and they had their amateur bouts with Logan, but you had Jake under his wing for your first fight with him. You trained him in Big Bear, and how does it feel that it's now your turn to enter the influencer scene and get in the ring?
It feels great, man. Like I said, I've been working out, been training and stuff, and keep myself in great shape. And to be able to get in the ring again, it feels great, man. I'm excited.
And Matty, how did this fight come about? Because you're meant to fight Armstrong Martins. We did a great face to face with that. Now we're on another face to face. Talk about what happened there. And were you starstruck? Were you surprised when you got the call? Like you said, you've been in deep waters before. You've been against Roman Cole away in his own arena. Is this just another chapter in the Matty Floyd story, in the Matty Floyd book?
Fighting Armstrong was always it was an influencer. Like to me, it was a nothing fight. I wasn't training for it or nothing. It wasn't a serious fight to me. It was my destiny to fight Shane. When I tell people that, I met him 20 years ago. I knew back then when I seen him that there was something different. Obviously, it was great to meet one of my heroes back then. But it was my destiny to fight him. So
And this
here I
is
am.
kind of similar to Jake Paul of Anderson Silva. You've got that iconic picture of him and Logan and Anderson in the middle. And obviously, Anderson has his kids. Shane's a legend. Do you still have that
Yeah.
picture?
You took it to me. The picture, are you talking
No,
the
I'm asking.
Jedi?
I'm asking you, Shane. Do you still have that picture? Do you remember that moment when Matt met you as a kid?
Oh, I met a lot of kids, and I think it's the last guy I spar with. I'm not really sure, but um, but yeah, I mean, when I go to Australia, when I was in Australia, I see a lot of people. I was a dead girl in Australia, so I was there a lot.
Matt, do you remember that moment?
Yeah, of course I do. Shane's was a it was a legendary of him. I mean, I was a teenager. Not many, he was a celebrity back then. He was world famous back then. He would get in like he said a few times now. He would get in the ring with most people like that at his status. Wouldn't do that. It was great of him back then. He would
Mm.
get in the ring and play around the younger boys. He was sparring. He had some serious sparring with a few of the pros. I think he sparred about three or four boys, and I was lucky enough to, I think like I said, when I first seen him, I knew something with him, and he looked at me, and he sort of, he could see I was, and he goes, "Come and jump," at the end, and
Mhm.
it was a privilege back then, and back then I felt something about him. I looked up to him then, and now I know what it was. It was always meant to be. Like this was always meant to happen.
And Shane, how did the news break to you? And were you surprised? Do you see Matt as a stepping stone, or do you see Matt as one of your toughest fights you've had in your career? I know you've been in there with Floyd, you've been in there with Oscar, you've been in there with Canelo, but as everyone mentions, as ring rust in a sport, and you haven't been active for about 10, 9 years, or almost a decade. How do you see Matt?
I think he's going to be pretty tough. He's going to come out there and he's going to do what he needs to do to try to win. Um, but I'm in there with a lot of young guys and a lot of tough guys even right now, and so I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I think yeah, I think that he's gonna be quite surprised when he gets in with me and how I feel and how I look.
And there's a lot of talk about this. I've seen your other interviews and you've mentioned it. Talk about something here. Old school fighters versus the new generation. Marvelous Marvin Hagler said it there that the old fought the best of the best. They fought everyone, where the new feel like they have to go through the short way. You didn't have social media in your time. Well, you did in the last few years, but Matt's got millions of views. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers. What do you think it is about this generation that's different to the men that were born in your era?
Well, I mean, Matt was said to in another interview that he looks up to the old style fighting and he likes to fight, uh, like real fights. So, I mean, those type of fights are exciting and they get a lot of views and probably paid a little bit more money. But the other type of fights, the new school where they're doing they're just doing enough to win and just try to rob the bank. That's not cool. But I love this type of fight that Matt Floyd brings to the table, and I think it's going to be great for the fans.
And Matt, what do you make of that? Everyone's labeling as old school versus new school, but what people don't see is that you are the old school. You have part of the old school in you. So just let us know. Is it going to be the old school game to fight Shane Mosley versus a new Matt Floyd? Or how Shane said in other interviews, you don't want he doesn't want you to see him as a 53-year-old. He wants you to see him as a 32-year-old Shane Mosley, and he's bringing his best, the best Shane Mosley there is.
I don't see him as a 50. Everyone around him, everyone's saying he's saying it. Everyone's saying I am going to be fighting a 30-year-old Shane, and that's what I want. I wouldn't, I'd fight Canelo tomorrow. I'd fight. You know me already now. I'd fight anyone tomorrow. I would fight Shane when he was at his best tomorrow. I want to fight Shane at his best tomorrow. So it's not about me fighting him. When he's older or at his best or younger or what. This was the opportunity given to me, and and it's a great opportunity. I don't know, you know, how I feel about having to feel how I always feel. Every fight I go into, I know what I have to do, and it's obviously a different feeling that it is Shane because he is, the first, person that I met, and like I've already said before, but it's I've accepted that, and I can't. I'm not going to treat it like any other fight. I want to fight the best in the world and show the world that I can beat the best in the world because I know that I can.
And Matty, do you see this as a quick way? You've already established yourself in the sport, but for those who are just finding out your name, those in the UK, America, worldwide, obviously back home in Australia, they know you. Do you see this as you beat a legend, you make your name off of Shane Mosley, or have you already made your name and this is just going to excel your career?
I already know who I am, man. We all know why my career got robbed of me, like why I started late. I started in my 30s, where I was in prison all my 20s for kidnapping pedophiles. And and I've accepted that too. And everything happens for a reason. I started late in my career. I feel like I got robbed of time, but everything happens for a reason. I'm here now, and destiny. All the stars have aligned. And I'm fighting my hero, the greatest of all time. But I'm gonna treat it exactly like every other fight. And after I've beaten Shane. I'll be fighting, the next best fighter straight after. It doesn't matter who it is.
And Shane, do you see this as you've got Matt Floyd and you can derail the hype train, you can derail the social media star and the next big thing coming out of boxing? Or do you see this as he's looking to take food off your table, the plate off your table, and he's looking to make a name for himself over having you on his resume?
Well, I'm looking for bigger and better things after this fight, so I'm training very hard. I'm in the ring with a lot of young guys, a lot of great young guys that are up and coming, and I think that yeah, I think like I said, I'm gonna be very sharp and I'm gonna be very good, and he's got to come with a lot. Um, yeah, he has to come a lot. He'll have it by a little bit by the weight, the weight difference, but that's not gonna make a difference. He's gonna be in trouble. So he has to be very sharp, and he has to be very good that night to beat me. So I'm gonna be good.
You say you're very sharp. What other tools in your arsenal do you have that is better than Matt Floyd? And what can you do to beat Matt Floyd on the night that he doesn't see coming?
I think all my tools are better than Matt Floyd's right now, but I think that only thing he has me with is youth and size. But other than that, um, yeah, I'm coming with a different program than what he thinks.
Matt, what do you take from that? What do you have in your arsenal? And do you think Shane has too much for you, or do you have too much for him?
I'm glad Shane thinks that. I'll show the world firsthand. I can't wait to show Shane that I'm far better than what he thinks or what anyone else thinks. So and I'm going to show him firsthand. Everyone that watches me always, thinks, oh yeah, this and that, and they get in the ring with me. I'm always the hardest, the toughest, whatever they've ever come across. I say it every time, and I can't wait to be able to show my hero that whether I have to show him by it doesn't matter. I'm going to win by by knockout or by winning every round or what. Like I'm going to show them, and I can't wait. It's an honor to be able to show them, and show the world at the same time what I'm capable of.
Matt, we said off camera, obviously not overlooking anyone, but say you get through Shane, do you want to get through his prodigy and fight Jake Paul?
You know me, man. You know that's I'll fight him. I'll fight anyone tomorrow. So like, and you know what I think about that. I think that I'll beat Jake easy anyway.
Shane, what do you take from that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of talk, what he can do. But we'll see. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not really a talker. I love to show what I can do, and hard work is what I've been doing, and I'm going to show it the night of the fight, the hard work, and hopefully, he's working hard too. So it'll be a great fight. It'll be action packed, a type of fight where people will get their money's worth.
And you say mentally, but does your body feel like a 32-year-old Shane Mosley in his prime? And do you say this is one of the best training camps you've ever had and you're ready to put on a show?
Well, I'm not saying this is the best training camp I've ever had. I'm just saying that I feel a lot younger. Even now I'm working with guys that are very young and have a lot of energy and can really push me. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be great, man. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Matt, just before we end, penultimate question I have for you before we go. Take it there. I don't want to hear what you so-called hear on the media when Jake Paul beats an older guy. Oh, he beat someone past his prime. He beat a former world champion. He beat an old man. Shane ain't no old man and Shane ain't no joke. So what do you want this to be labeled as? Say you get past Shane and ask Shane the same question. You beat Shane Mosley. What do you say? I want better things. I beat former freeweight world champion Shane Mosley. I did what Oscar De La Hoya couldn't do. You've done what most people couldn't do in their career. How do you want it labelled after, God willing, if you come out on top?
I don't want it labelled. It's part of my destiny, man. So it doesn't really matter how it gets labelled. It's what's going to happen, and whoever you know me well enough to know that whoever I fight, I want to. Yeah, I don't really care how it gets labelled, man.
And Shane, same question to you. How do you want this label? Because do you see it coming in from the media? And I know the media puts a lot of pressure, but do you see it? They see you as the older guy. They see you as maybe someone past his prime, and you have the advantage because of the name and probably your resume, but you haven't been in there for a decade. How do you see the media label this? And God willing, you get past Matty Floyd. How do you want it to be labeled as? You derail Matty Floyd. You're the first to be Matty Floyd in the fashion that you will do it. What do you want it to be labeled as?
Well, I just wanted to just make a point of my abilities, and so they'll know that it doesn't matter about my age. It just matters about what I look like when I get in the ring. And I think that Matt Floyd, if he can be, if he can do good well in this fight, I think that he should be credited for that because I'm different than what people think. So I think that if he does well, then he should get the credit for it because I am a different fighter. I'm really good. So he's gonna be in the years. I don't think it'll matter, but we'll see when we get in the ring. But I feel great. I'm ready to go. I mean, I'm in the ring with good guys. So
I love
yeah.
that. I feel like you've answered my last question. So just because I started with
Mhm.
you, I'm going to end off with you, and then we'll go to Matt. What's your
Okay.
final message to Matt Floyd? What's your final message to the fans? And what can they expect? We know 2 8-minute rounds. Can we correct it? Is it light heavyweight, cruiserweight division? What's the weight limit here?
Oh, it's 170, but Matt's gonna be bigger, but it's 170. My message to him is just fight as hard as you can and give it all. You know what I'm saying? Give whatever it is because that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting for him to give everything he can, and I'm gonna give it all and show the world, you know, real fighting, real boxing, well, real fighting. I'm gonna say fighting, and old school fighting. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna knuckle up. We're gonna get ourselves together. We're gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. So hopefully he's in the same mentality as I am.
Matty, what do you take from that? What's your last words? Some of the final words.
I couldn't have asked for a better last message from him. I don't even need a reply to that because that's just what I want. What he said there, I couldn't have asked for anything more better myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legend himself, Sugar Shane Mosley, legend, and he's taken off in the scene. Matty the Jedi Floyd, July 25th. If you haven't got your tickets, if you're in London, get yourself down there, and if not, buy the pay-per-view.